Hi, welcome back to Zack of All Trades. I'm Zack, and this is my knife that, quite frankly, I'm ashamed at the condition that I've let the blade get to. I'm going to address that. By doing so, I'm going to wind up digging out an old knife sharpening apparatus that I built years ago and see if I can make that work again. But before I do all that, I'm going to give you the backstory on this knife. I'm going to tell you how I got it, where I got it, because if you know me, you know that I'm not the kind of guy to spend 150 or 200 bucks on a pocket knife. Let's get to it. Back when I was in the Navy, yeah, I've waited a long time to say that. But seriously, back when I was in the Navy on active duty, my job was that of a loadmaster on a big cargo plane, a C-130 specifically. Our job was to carry people and stuff to and from all corners of the globe. Typically, they were places that well, how should we say this? Places that you wouldn't really want to take your family on vacation, if you know what I mean. On one such mission, my crew and I were one link in the journey home of this group of Marines who were coming out of an ugly place, but headed back home. After we landed and sent these devil dogs off into the night to whatever was the next stop in their journey, we did the same thing we do every time. We cleaned up the airplane, pick up the bubble gum and the sunflower seeds that passengers tend to leave on the airplane. During that cleaning, I found this knife with no engraving, no name, no indication as to who owned it. And I've already sent these guys off to whatever was the next stop in their journey. Remember, I'm in a foreign country. I've really got no good way to get in touch with this unit or those Marines to figure out who it belongs to even. I don't even know where their next stop is, and I don't really know what's home. And so for a lack of something better to do, I put it in my pocket. And when I did so, I made the commitment that every time this knife was in my hands, I would think about those young Marines that are over there, that are always over there. And when able, I'd say a quick prayer for them. That's been 6 years ago, and I have carried this knife almost without fail every day for the last 6 years. I think it's safe to say I love this knife. Let me tell you a little bit more about it. This is the Benchmade Presidio, model number 5000 SBK-SN TAC M. It was manufactured for, or at least marketed toward, the U.S. Marine Corps, as evidenced by the Eagle Globe and Anchor emblazoned upon it, as well as the fact that this thing has got an NSN. If you have any sort of military supply experience, you know that if this has an NSN, if an item has an NSN, it can be ordered through the military supply system. So that lends a little bit of credence to the notion that this knife was issued by, or at least was able to be issued by, some units in the Marine Corps. Now, whether or not it was actually designed for the Marine Corps, this thing is robust. It's got a handful of features that I think make it really cool. First off, the scales are aluminum, right? 60-61 aluminum, which is nothing exceptionally fancy. But check out, look at this. Look at this scallop, I guess I'll call it. Look at the direction of that. You notice how it goes this direction, and then it's neutral, and then it goes the other direction? Well, let's think about this. As you're pushing, you have grip right there. And as you're pulling, you have grip back here, which is pretty cool. It's got a hole in the back of it for sticking your paracord through to tie a loop on it so that you can hook it to something or hook it around your hand or affix it to your bayonet. It is ambidextrous in the action here. It's got the knob on both sides. Also, the pocket clip, you can switch that over to the other side, as well as having this slide lock on the back of it, which prevents it from being opened or closed, which is great if you're digging a foxhole, or if you have a 4-year-old around the house that likes to play with your knife. You could theoretically leave it locked, and your kid would take a little while to figure it out. Specs wise, the blade itself is about 3.5 inches long, and the knife overall is just a smidge over 8 inches long. But here's the crazy part. This thing is heavy. Heavy, heavy. 5.75, just a little under 5.75 ounces. That is heavy. I had never carried a pocket knife this heavy, and honestly, when I first got it, I didn't think that I was going to like it. But it's just heavy enough that it's got the heft. It just feels like it's the right knife for just about anything. Splitting kindling, like bushcrafting type of stuff. It's great for, I don't know, opening oil cans and eating your lunch, and, well, I suppose probably for stabbing bad guys too. One of the other things that I really like about this knife is the fact that it carries tip up. Now, I had never carried a knife, unknowingly, I had never carried a knife that carries tip up. And here's what that means. It means that when I'm carrying this knife in my pocket, when I reach in and grab it, when I pull it out, it's already in my hand, oriented the way that you would use it. Amazing. I never realized that that was a thing, or that tip up vice tip down could feel so different. And so once I finally figured out what was the difference with this knife, I tried carrying around another knife that I have, this little CRKT, that carries tip down. When you pull it out, it's doggone upside down. You got to fiddle around with it. You're holding on to the wrong end of it when you pull it out of your pocket. So that's part of the reason I absolutely love this knife. Not to mention, it's got a built-in bottle opener. Pretty handy in survival situations. Now let me tell you the bad things about it. No, I really don't have anything bad to say about this knife after 6 years of carrying it. It is an auto, so depending upon your location, there may be some legality issues with that. Other than that, it's heavy. Like I said, it's real heavy. Some people won't like carrying it, but I never have found the heft to be a problem. I really like it. So while I've been dinking around in here in the garage, it seems to have gotten late on me. So instead of postponing this video any further to try to get the whole rest of the whole shooting match into it, which is going to be kind of drawn out anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end it here, edit it, and get it uploaded as soon as I can. And then very soon, like hopefully I can get it done tomorrow, I will film the other part, sharpening and putting back together my knife sharpener. I think you might enjoy it. So, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon. If by some small speck of chance you are that Marine who lost your knife on my airplane, if you can tell me where you were coming from, where that flight was coming from, and where it was going to, if you can convince me that that was you that lost your knife, I will send it to you with a huge smile. I'd love to return this to its owner. Thanks again for watching, guys. I'll see you again real soon.